I'm pretty sure you could call those headphones my most prized possession. It sounds silly, I know, but hear me out. These weren't just any Bluetooth headphones, they were basically the tank of headphones. I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say they probably survived more accidental drops, coffee spills, and general abuse than anything else I've owned. The headband was held together with a ridiculous amount of duct tape, one of the ear cups was cracked but somehow still worked perfectly, and the left speaker was slightly muffled but, damn, those things kept going. They had this rugged charm, sort of like a battle-scarred soldier I couldn't bear to replace. So imagine my shock when, one morning, I came into work and found they'd disappeared from my desk. No note, no explanation, just gone. I asked around, hoping maybe someone borrowed them, but no one knew anything. I even checked lost and found, but nothing. I was convinced someone had swiped them, and honestly, I was pretty pissed off. They weren't just headphones, they were kind of my thing. A stubborn little gadget that refused to quit, even when I wasn't treating it kindly. To lose them felt like losing a small but important part of my day-to-day routine. Fast forward 6 months, and life had just moved on, or so I thought. That's when I saw it. During one of our weekly department meetings, I glanced over and caught a glimpse of those unmistakable, patched-up headphones wrapped around my coworker Josh's neck. At first, I wasn't sure I was seeing things. I mean, they looked exactly like mine. The same dents, the beaten-up look, the tape reinforcements. There was no mistaking it. Those were my headphones. My heart kind of dropped for a second. I wasn't sure whether to confront him right there or just bide my time. Part of me wanted to call him out in front of everyone and demand my headphones back, but another part thought maybe I was being paranoid. What if he'd borrowed them at some point and forgot to say? But the more I looked, the more I realized the whole thing didn't add up. There was no reason for him to have them, and from what I'd heard, he wasn't exactly the kind of guy who would ask politely. So yeah, that discovery hit me hard. Suddenly, all the frustration and feelings of violation I'd tried to shake off came flooding back. I was determined to get to the bottom of it, but then the meeting started, and my phone, without me even touching it, somehow connected to the headphones, and what happened next just made everything explode in the most unexpected way. So there I was, sitting in the department meeting like everyone else, trying to keep it together, when suddenly this loud, explicit noise just exploded through the room. It wasn't music or anything subtle, it was just vulgar and completely out of place for our serious workplace vibe. Everyone froze, eyes darting around, clearly wondering who was responsible. Here's the thing. The thief, yeah, the same coworker who'd stolen my indestructible Bluetooth headphones, had been carelessly fiddling with her phone and bag. She moved her phone away from her bag just enough to trigger the headphones to disconnect from her device and, without warning, reconnect to mine. I didn't even realize what was going on at first, but the moment those headphones started blasting explicit sounds through my phone's connection, I knew something was seriously wrong. She scrambled, obviously panicking, and started trying to silence the headphones, tapping on her phone and even trying to grab the headphones off her head, but nothing worked. The volume was way too loud, and the audio kept playing in full, loud, embarrassing detail. I can't even explain the mix of shock and disbelief on everyone's faces, especially the new director, who had just started the meeting and was trying to introduce herself. The whole room went dead quiet except for that awful noise. It was clear the thief had no idea what to do. She looked completely trapped in her own mess and, before anyone could say anything, she bolted out of the room. Totally humiliated, leaving behind a stunned crowd and the awkward silence that followed. For a moment, it felt like everything stopped. The meeting, the introductions, the usual hum of office life, all paused by this ridiculously loud consequence of her own careless theft. That incident didn't just shake up the day. It sent a clear message to everyone about what happens when you cross certain lines. And after that, the company quickly tightened up their policies around personal belongings and security, but the thief? Well, she started disappearing from work more and more, which got everyone talking and wondering what was really going to happen next. In the days after the whole headphone fiasco blew up that meeting, things at work got tense, to say the least. The coworker who'd stolen my headphones started calling in sick almost every day. I heard through the grapevine that she'd missed some pretty important meetings, too. The kind that people don't usually skip without trouble. Honestly, part of me thought she was just trying to avoid the awkwardness or maybe even hoping the dust would settle so she could quietly slip back in without anyone noticing. But that wasn't how it played out. A week or two later, I learned she'd been suspended. Then, not long after, she was gone, fired, apparently for several reasons, but that headphone incident seemed to be the tipping point. At first, I'll admit, I felt a rush of victory. Like, justice was served. I mean, she'd stolen my stuff and then been caught red-handed. It felt satisfying in a way I hadn't expected. I caught myself replaying the moment at that meeting, the way the whole room turned and stared, and she couldn't deny it. It was like some weird comeback story written just for me. But then, something shifted. It hit me how deeply this had affected her life. I kept wondering if I'd gone too far. Did I have the right to make her lose her job? Was it fair? The more I thought about it, the more complicated it became. Yeah, she stole from me, but did that really mean she deserved all this punishment? It wasn't just a stolen set of headphones, it was someone's livelihood on the line. I felt this knot of guilt twisting inside me, a quiet unease that wouldn't go away. I started thinking about justice, not the way it's handed down with black and white certainty, but the messy, gray version full of unintended consequences. It made me wonder about empathy and what it really means to stand up for yourself without tearing someone else down in the process. The whole thing turned into this uncomfortable mirror for me, forcing me to reckon with how easy it is to play judge and jury when you're the one who got hurt. So, here I am, caught somewhere between feeling justified and feeling guilty, wondering if there's any way to make sense of all this. Would she ever come back to work? Could we ever move past this? Or was this the beginning of a divide that would never truly heal? The truth is, I don't have an answer yet, and honestly, I don't know if I ever will.